off to a new land, where I don't know me, where I don't fear falling. And I fly high, gallantly, where the questions are yet to be answered, and the boundaries are yet to be set, to a kingdom of will and wishes, where gravity pushes you free. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher asked the class, what did we want to be when we grew up? I had my answer ready. I was so sure the whole class is going to break into an applause on hearing my answer. Unfortunately, every kid before me had the same plan to glory. And one by one, those little rats stole the answer. My backup answer. Then the backup to my backup answer. And when it was my turn, I couldn't think of anything that was applause-worthy. So I just said the first thing that came to my mind. I want to be a flying mermaid. There was no applause. There were giggles and smirks until one smart kid finally shouted out, "She doesn't even know. Mermaids are not like birds. They can't fly." I snapped back. So what? I will. Perked up my shoulders, held my head high, sat back down, went home and cried to my dad. My dad said, "Of course, you can be a flying mermaid. All you have to do, learn to swim, learn to fly. Always do your homework on time." It was something that I had just said in a moment of pride. But I think my dad realized the power and potential these words hold in transforming possibilities. As we grow up, we learn a lot of new things. We acquire knowledge about science, economy. We learn about social perceptions, right and wrong, possible versus impossible. But what happens when we say, "So what? I will," to defy any of these known facts or impossibilities? We either succeed, which is usually followed by a Facebook status update, or we try and fail and learn. We all know the power of succeeding when we let our creative juices flow against all odds. If Steve Jobs hadn't said, "So what if it hasn't been done yet? I will," I wouldn't have ended up with this computer in my pocket. If Wright brothers had taken gravity too seriously, you wouldn't have been able to hear my speech, as I wouldn't have flown to the US from India. All the miraculous inventions happened because someone somewhere said, "So what? I will," to something that wasn't possible yet. Sometimes when we say, "I will," well, actually, we can't. And this is why we falter in our efforts. Because we know there is a chance we can't. And we will fail. But that's okay. Because contrary to our predisposition to avoid making mistakes, it is vital in life to make mistakes. If Professor Utonium had not dropped chemical X in the formula by mistake, we wouldn't have had power goals. When I was a kid, we went on a family picnic one time. I remember sitting on top of a slope. All the parents there were scolding their kids for rolling down the slope. I had this brilliant idea. I decided I'm going to roll up the slope. I shared this idea with my sister, and she explained to me why I couldn't do it. Something about the earth being round and it trying to pull me in. Being the obedient sister I was, I said, "So what? I will." Actually, I tried. And I couldn't. And that was my first lesson in gravity. A lesson that I always remembered. So you see how saying, so what, I will, is a win-win situation? I can't promise you that just because you say you will, you can. But I can promise you that either you will or you learn. There is no other alternative. So next time you have a crazy idea at home or work, a new business venture you want to try, or a hobby, and the only reason you're holding back is because it seems a little too difficult, even impossible, just say, so what? I will. Every time I've said that out loud to a possibility in my life, I've taken a step closer to my dreamland of will and wishes, a land of no gravity, where mermaids